Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. I am your host, Michael Weaver, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Chase Stevens. Chase, how are you today?
I'm good, Michael. Thanks for having me, man. Stoked to be here.
Absolutely. So today's a little bit different. So Chase is actually a team member for an agent, but Chase is an extremely high performing team member. And what I mean by that, my friends, is he has hit the Century Club the last 2 months in a row and working on a third and consistently gets better every single month. So Chase, thanks for coming on the Buzz today, my man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Like I said, thanks for having me.
So you know how I start this. So who was Chase before you got into insurance?
Sure. Yeah. So, similar to a lot of people that you talk to, I played baseball my entire life. Was able to play in college at Anderson University. Um, it was pretty cool. A lot of times, I listen to your podcast and um, people find State Farm just by surprise. My family is very involved with State Farm. My grandfather was an agent for a long time, and my uncle is now an agent in Union, South Carolina. So, kind of fell in line there. It was pretty neat growing up, going on the trips, and I've always said, "Hey, I want to do what those guys do and take my family on these trips." So, um, got into an internship with Parker my senior year of college, and then just kind of rolled over full time. May of 2021 is when I started. So just had my 1 year here.
Okay, I love it, man. So you're from an insurance family. You've been able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to watch the goods growing up, and you're like, I want some of that good, man.
That's right.
No, I dig that. So tell me a little bit about baseball. Because I like to always ask this question. So what did maybe baseball or what did you learn growing up baseball that has helped you in your early career just starting off? Like what did you learn?
Yeah, yeah. So the biggest thing with baseball and insurance that I think they have in common is there's a lot of failure on both sides. Um, I mean, I personally I want a pitcher. I played a position, so if you succeed 3 out of 10 times hitting in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. Same can be said for life insurance. If you close 3 out of every 10, you're doing pretty dang good. One thing that my dad has always told me growing up is, if you go through a slump, whatever, just keep swinging. So same can be said for life insurance. You're having bad luck, just keep chugging along, man. Just keep talking about it, and it's going to happen. It's going to turn around eventually.
Mm, I love Man, we getting buzzed on the buzz already, man. I like that. Okay. You're
Yeah.
you're 100. I like that analogy. Yeah, just keep swinging. You gotta keep asking. Like you're gonna get turned down,
Yep.
but you gotta keep asking. So I dig that. So we know who Chase is. We know why you chose insurance. So talk to us a little bit about. So you've been doing it a year, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So let's get into just over the last year, maybe what's been the biggest thing that you've learned so far in your early career?
Yeah. The biggest thing that I've learned is not, you're doing the customer an injustice if you're not showing them all the products that we offer. I feel like early on I was really focused on just auto and fire and then falling short on life and health. But now with my processes that I'm doing, I'm learning, you're putting all the products on the table and you're letting them pick and choose. And you're showing the value of each one as well. And sometimes, they're willing to spend a little bit more for that extra value.
Yep. 100%. Absolutely. Like I think the statistic is nine out of 10 consumers are willing to pay more for something if they
Sure.
find it
Yeah.
valuable.
Right. Right. And that, I mean, that's true. If you show the value, show the need, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to go with you.
Absolutely. So that's the biggest thing you've learned. So you've been a year. So walk us through maybe like your transition of starting, and you were pretty good from the get-go, I believe, like
Yeah.
50, 60 month app producer and then worked into 80. Now you're working on back to back to probably back 100 policy months. So walk us through what that transition has looked like.
Sure. So, really, since the new year, our team is kind of committed to one, have a certain percentage of onboardings done. So, having people in the office. So on the front end, what I'll do is mainly just set up, their auto, their home, whatever it is, and then I bring them into the office, and then I dive deeper with the process of financial foundation. I know that's something that you teach, Michael, and I'd be happy to dive a little deeper there if you want me to explain that for you and kind of how I run it. But I bring them in, sit them down, and with the financial foundation, the biggest thing for me is the first 10, 15 minutes rapport building. That's something that's super overlooked. And, you're excited for them to come in there, but, just take a breath and step back, get to know the person. Just because from my experience, I've realized that you get more comfortable and the customer gets more comfortable, and there's a lot more trust there. So what I typically try to do is just talk about, real world events that are going on. And then somehow or another, I'll make a connection with them, somebody I know, they know. And then I just dive right into it.
Mm.
So get them to sign all their forms and then go right into the foundation. And it's been working great for me.
Well, I think what something you just said is super, super important. I love that you figured this out so early on in your career, is the importance of finding commonalities. And
Sure.
the importance of because without a commonality, the likelihood that you establish that no like trust factor with a customer in that short amount of time that you have is going to be extremely tough. And so I love the fact that you've already figured out, like, I have to build rapport. I have to find commonalities. I have to get to know the customer before we just start having an insurance conversation.
Right. Right. Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people get nervous for appointments, and that rapport, man, it loosens you up and you just feel so much more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Not only does it loosen you up, it loosens the customer up.
right. Absolutely.
Because think about it, the customer, you're not, now sometimes you'll go to their house so they're comfortable, but majority of appointments are going to be at the office. The appointment, so the
Right.
office is your safe place. The office is not the customer's safe place. And so I think the rapport building is not only great to help you, the sales professional, get relaxed, get to know the customer, but even more importantly, if you get really good at the rapport building, you'll watch the customer shoulders drop a little bit. They're not as tense, they're not as nervous, because most consumers are like, I'm going to be sold to. I'm going to come in here, going to be sold to. And so I dig that you figured that out, man. Kudos to you. That's really good.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
So what would you say how you've went from being a consistent 50, 60 app a month producer, and then you made the jump. So you made about a 20% jump to roughly that 80-ish. So 80-ish mark.
Uh-huh.
And then you jumped again to now the 100 mark. Like what would you say that you've, like, how you started, what you're doing differently now that has taken you from that 60 to 100? Because that's a big jump. I mean, that's almost doubling production. That's a big deal.
Right. Right. Biggest thing, any sort of onboarding appointment I do, I ask for referrals. We're doing a couple different things. First one, we'll give somebody a gift card if they send us a referral. Second thing, we'll donate money to the local humane society or Paul's animal shelter when they give us a referral. So depending on the month is kind of what we'll do there. And then our follow-up process is pretty good with the referrals. I try to get a name on the front end. So when they're in there, I get a name. I send them my contact card, say, hey, get them to call me. I mean, that's not a cold call. They're calling in, and I'm guaranteed to quote these people. Odds are, too, they're talking me up a little bit because I just helped their buddy out. So that's something that's helped me out a ton. And then the second thing, just diving deeper in the household. I want to write the golf carts. I want to write the boats. I want to write clubs. I want to write all those things. And it turns into, a conversation where you're only writing an auto and renters, you're writing, lives on the kids. It all stacks up pretty nice.
Absolutely.
So,
No, and I think the other important thing to mention is going from So not only are you knocking it out of the park with the P&C side of things, but you're also doing the financial services. And you told me before we got started on the call that you've watched your life insurance premium average go from $200 a month to about $450 a month now is what you're doing on average. So is that because of the onboarding appointments, or what does that look like?
Yeah, it definitely is. And um, it all starts, this is pretty important, it all starts on the auto quote. So pretty much on the screen where it's the previous insured report, um, people have state minimum liability. That's just what happens. And we call it in our office, we explain the three ways to lose income. So I tell the customer, hey, this is kind of concerning. You have state minimum liability. We live in a sue happy world these days. Let's see what we can do. They're like, yeah, let's do that. So that's the first way you can lose your income if you were sued, right? Second way, if you were to get injured and go to the hospital. So that's how I'm pushing, hospital income policies. And then if they're injured badly enough and cannot go to work, they cannot collect a paycheck. So there's our disability. And then the final way, the third, God forbid you lose your life. So I tell them on the phone too, hey, we're going to take care of 2 of 3 of these today. We're going to take care of 2 of 3, and then you're going to come into the office and we're going to look at the third. And I let them choose, hey, which is more important to you? Do you want to take care of your family with a death benefit, or do you want to pay hospital bills? And then I do the quote like that. And then I wrap up the third when they come in for our onboarding appointment. And then when they come in is when I do the financial foundation. And that works.
Oh shoot, the financial I'm glad you like it, man. Like it's a lot of people have success with it. It's something that obviously we had created back right before I went into agency, but no, man. So you're hitting on a lot of really valid points right now, because I think a lot of team members and even agency sales processes in that upfront conversation, they're so focused on getting the sell that they just want to have a conversation over just the auto, just single line, which I personally believe that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in an agency. Like you need to multi-line everybody, because
Right.
it's going to force you to have the conversation. And that's how the customer gets the biggest discount structure, retention. Like there's a lot of benefits to having conversations like what you're saying. So talk about maybe how you push through, because that's some of the biggest most questions I get from team members. Well, Michael, the customer tries to control the conversation. The customer doesn't want to talk about other products. So how do you go about that?
That's something that I really haven't came across that much, just because I'm showing the value of each policy. Now, if they are, super, like, hey, I just want auto insurance, I'll do that. That's fine. But I'll let them know on the front end, just let me talk about it. At State Farm, we do things a lot different than Progressive, Geico. We're not transactional. I want to make sure I protect your whole, financial picture rather than just your auto insurance. Um, and I'm honest on the front end about that. And, whether they buy it or not, I tell them, hey,
Mm-hmm.
just let me talk to you about this because I think it could be valuable for you.
My man, thank you for saying that, because you just hit the nail on the head. And I don't know if you hit the nail on the head. You are controlling the conversation because you are the professional.
Right.
The customer doesn't, they know nothing about insurance, unless of course they've been in insurance before. So 99.9% of people you talk to are not going to know about insurance. They don't even know what they're paying for. They just know they have a monthly payment. And that's why consumers, I just want price. Well, are you really that focused on price, or would you rather be focused on what you're actually getting for the money? And so I
Sure.
love that you're taking control of the conversation. You're following the process. You're asking questions, you're building rapport, you're doing the things necessary to build that know, like, trust factor, find out the things about your customer and educating them, versus just, hey, here's the quote, $200 a month. What do you think about that? Which I think is
Right.
the worst thing you can do is in the insurance field.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, man, you're the one that said it. Like, you hit the nail on the head, brother. So because you're right. Like, and it's a mindset. All right. So just in talking to you, like, your mindset is, we're having this conversation. This is the conversation I have with every single customer every single time. And I think there's something to be said about that. So kudos to you, man, early on in your career. That's
Appreciate
really
it.
good.
Thank you.
So besides onboarding, which I love, as you know, I'm a huge proponent of onboarding. That should be part of everybody's process. Like, when you close the business, you need to be scheduling the appointment. That's just part of the process. The financial foundation, obviously you've had massive success with that, taking you from doubling your average and monthly life insurance premium. What do you think, like, on a day-to-day basis, what are you focused on? Like, what are your big 2 to 3 things that you're doing every day as a team member to be like crazy successful hitting that century club?
Sure. So, um, I talked about it a little bit before, but our office has a win the day process. Um, and it both has lead and lag measures to it, which is super nice because you have lead days, you have lag days. I mean, that's just the way it is. Um, but every morning we have our commitments that we do. So really, just for me, my commitments are always 8 to 10 quotes, and then probably about 5 life ops. I know that's pretty specific, but um, that forces me to drive activity. And especially Parker does a really good job, our agent, holding us accountable. He'll check in the middle of the day. Hey, where you at on your 8 quotes and 5 life ops? Um, and I don't want to say, hey, I'm only at 2 quotes and 1 life op, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So really just, I mean, grinding it out, pounding the phone calls, getting the people in the office. That's just how you drive activity, in my opinion.
You're keeping it so simple, brother. Like, I love this. Like, you're focused on 2 things: driving new business, so getting household quotes done, and then 5 life insurance opportunities a day.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
so, it's so simple, because 5 a day is 25 a week. That's roughly 100 a month. Okay. On a 4-week work week month. If you ask 100 people about life insurance, you are going to write some life insurance.
Yeah. That's the truth. And to talk about life insurance a little bit, one process that we have in our office that's helped us a ton is Parker does a really good job getting in with realtors and mortgage lenders. So what we'll do is we'll schedule a second closing appointment, and they'll come in. I'll go over their homeowners policies, because at that point they're so used to being told what to do in the home buying process. I tell them, come in. We're going to go through your home policy a little bit more in depth. I'll offer the endorsements that we have: home system, home rental, all that good stuff. And then I'll go into a mortgage protection option. Those are fantastic, just because if they're married, and I tell them, like, hey, I'm married just like you are. I don't want to leave my spouse with a mortgage if something happens to me while we're paying this off. Do you? And nobody does. So a cool thing that State Farm offers is an amortization calculator. So I'll pair a return of premium to their loan amount, and then the amount they get back after the term, they can make a one-time payment to their mortgage. And the calculator, you can put that in there. Michael, I'll send it to you, but it shows how fast they can pay off their home. Shows how much you can save with interest. It's actually pretty neat. So that's how we drive a lot of life in our office as well.
And so I love that process. And for all those listening, regardless if you have great connections with mortgage lenders, it doesn't matter. You always have customers buying houses, whether they're selling a house, buying a house, brand new homeowners, which automatically they disturb complacency themselves, because they just purchased a brand new asset. Like, literally, a home is typically most people's biggest assets besides themselves, their paychecks. And so I love what you're doing here, because people are already uncertain. They want to know what's covered. They just bought a big house. So you're getting them in and they're already used to, like what you said, people telling them, hey, you need this, this, and this. Of course they want something to take care of the mortgage. So man, I dig that. That is a great process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that we changed. It's probably last year. And man, we've really taken off. We went from, I think, level 1. Now we're on track for level 3 travel this year. So it's, and chairman's, I mean, it's been great for us.
Yep. I love that, man. So what, you're full of gold nuggets today, man. We, like I said, shoot, we were getting buzzed on the buzz within the first 2 minutes of the episode. This is good. No, this is so good. So how do you, as a team member, how do you control the whirlwind of the day? Because look, y'all get curveballs, y'all. It is crazy. So how do you make sure you're intentional with your time to make sure you're doing the things necessary to produce the way you want to produce?
Yeah. So one thing that I'm super passionate about is being early. Our team meeting starts at 8:30. I'm typically here about 7:30 each morning. That allows me to knock out all the admin things that I have. I like to have a nice list of everything that I have for the day and cross it off when I get done with it. All my follow-ups. It takes a lot of pressure off of me to where, when the phones start ringing, I'm selling and I'm working. And that's pretty much it. I mean, get there early, get what you need to get done, and then when the phones start ringing, it's time to go in the trenches and start selling.
Time to work. That's right. Okay.
Yep.
I love that. So I just find it super impressive. And so obviously you signed, and so you guys you've been with Weaver Cells now for about 6 months. And so that's kind of when your production started to, I mean, you were, again, 60 apps a month, great producer. Like I think any agent would, I think any team member that can hit 60 apps consistently a month, like you're doing a great job. But you've really taken it to the next level. And man, I love that. Like over the last 6 months, you've literally steadily increased not only your P&C production, but your life insurance production. And it's through these. So number one, I'd tell you, you show up to the trainings, like you're doing a great job, you're taking action. But the other thing is you're keeping things really simple. I mean, you've got what you're focusing on a daily basis, your quotes, your life opportunities, you're onboarding customers. Like this is an absolute must. You're making sure that you're getting to know the customers by building rapport. Like, man, you're doing a lot of great things. You're getting there early, getting the service stuff knocked out so you don't let it come up as an excuse during the day. Like that's what do you think's helping with your mindset? Because being as young as you are, as earlier as you are in your career, like you've got an amazing mindset right now. So what are some things you do to help your mindset, help your development?
Yeah. I mean, I just think, from I go back to baseball. I just think of, it takes one person on a team to ruin it all for everybody. And I don't want to be that guy. And I don't want my teammates to be that guy. So one thing that's helped my mindset, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. It's not life or death in what we do. In mindset too, through work, one thing that I also do in the mornings before I get there, I have my morning routine, my personal morning routine, whether it be working out, cold shower, whatever it is. And when you start off with something like that, it sucks to get up. It's hard to take the cold shower. It's hard to have a bad day after that. You've done 2 things that are super hard, and then the rest of the day is pretty much smooth sailing for the most part. But going back to mindset, I just try not to let things overwhelm me. Don't let the day control you. You control the day. That's why I get there early. I make my list and I stay true to it. Because there's not a ton that throw you off too much. If something comes up, service, just knock it out. Don't put it off. Just go ahead and do it and then get back to your list. Because nothing takes too long where it knocks you off for 3-4 hours a day, So something comes up, do it, and then get back to it.
No excuses mentality, brother. That's what I'm hearing right now. No excuses. Like you handle it, you get it done, you get back on task.
Yep. That's right.
Man, that's good stuff. you got anything else to add today, man? You full golden nuggets.
I don't, I don't know. Like you said, man, just keep it simple. Everybody's out there looking for some magic bullet in this business, but I was talking to the team earlier, man. It's you. It's you that controls it. It's you that drives the activity. So, in my opinion, that is the magic bullet. It's yourself.
Mm,
Yep.
that I can dig that, man. That's good stuff, Chase. Like you just got to keep doing what you're doing, brother. Like I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
you grow and develop and get to start your own agency. You're gonna be fun to watch. You're a rock star.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm excited for it.
So Chase, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, they wanted to follow you, you gotta and guys, all this will be in the show notes too. What's the easiest way for someone to follow you or contact you?
Yeah. Just shoot me an email, text, Michael. I'll send you my phone number. You can put in there. I'm always open for questions, calls. I can send you my alias too. Just reach out and I'll be available.
Okay. So Chase, one last question for any, what would your advice be for fellow team members out there that might be struggling a little bit, may not be doing maybe they just aren't where they want to be? Like what would be some
Right.
of your biggest one or two tips for them?
Yeah. Um, I touched on it in the beginning, but just keep grinding it out. It's going to turn around. Um, I mean, I see it. I see it now throughout my day. I'm like, man, I'm having a terrible day in the morning, and then next thing I know, you have 5, 6 apps, and you're like, man, what just happened? So it can happen out of nowhere. But just keep calling. That's it. I mean, just call as many people as you can. Get them in the office. Drive production. It's going to happen.
Keep your head up, control the
Yep.
controllables, stay positive, and just follow the process. Do what it
Yep.
takes to be successful. Do what you're supposed to do every single day, and you will see success.
Yep. That's right.
Chase, my man, today's been awesome, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me, Michael.
Absolutely. For all those out there listening, if you enjoyed the buzz today, give us a 5-star review. We appreciate it. And honestly, this has been a good one, man. You brought the fire today, brother. Thank you so much. And for all
Yeah.
of you listening, as you all know, time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. I appreciate y'all spending it with Chase and I today. And Chase, thank you again.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, y'all go out and make it great.